Everyone, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we will be looking at another array method, which is called a flat map method. But before we go into this, just a quick recap of what we talked about in the last lesson. We saw how you can use the flat method to flatten a multi-dimensional array into a one-dimensional array. And you can see that that allow us to be able to flatten, a list of an array inside an array into one-dimensional array. So that was what the flat method was used for in array that we saw in the previous lesson. Now, in this lesson, let's quickly start talking about the flat map method. In the year 2019, the array flat map method was added to JavaScript, and the flat map method map all elements of an array and then create a new array by flattening the array. So an example will give us a clear understanding of what this means, that it first map all of an array and then create a new array by flattening the array. So let's take a look at an example. In this example, we are talking about array flat map method. The flat map method first map each element to a new array using a mapping function, then flatten results into a new array. So let's take a look at an example like I said. So here I have my array const, my array equals to, can just do this, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want 5 and I want comma 1, 6. I think this is fine. Now, const new array, const my array, then pass in the flat map method here, which is what I already have here. And you can use anything, whether number or I don't know, anything you like to use. So we can make this and say, okay, x, I'm using x in my case. X, ma, x, hashtag 2. And now that I have this, I can decide to get the value of my new array. And here you can see 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, 6, 12. So what I'm saying here is that with the flat map method, I'm saying take each value of x, which means that you first take each value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6. Then when you take that value, put it aside, and then begin to multiply each value by 2 raised to power 2. And when you see 2 raised to power 2, this will give you 4. 2 raised to power 2 will give you 3 times 2, sorry, not raised to power, because this is an asterisk sign. 3 times 2, 6. 4 times 2, 8. 5 times 2, 10. 6 times 2, 12. So that is the outcome of the results that we get from this flat map method. So this is what you will get from flat map method in JavaScript. So let's continue. Splicing and slicing arrays. The splice method adds new items to an array, and the slice method slice out a piece of an array. So it's just like when we talked about the popping and pushing of array in the previous lesson. So the splice method adds new items to an array, and the slice method slice out a piece of an array. So JavaScript has a splice method, and it also has a slice method. So let's take a look at an example of this as well. So here, JavaScript array splice method. Splice method. the splice method. Now, the splice method removes or add elements to an array, which is correspond to this that the splice method add new item to an array. And so let's take a look at how that can be achieved in JavaScript. So we'll make a new variable fruit. I will give it this value. And now I can get the value of my fruit in demo one. Document dot get element by id. So I just want the first one. I don't want any of these. Fruit. Now, right here on my screen, you can see all the values that I have in my array. Then I will comment this because I will be needing it. Now that I have the result of everything I have inside my array, I can use the splice method, fruit dot splice method. I want to add new item. So where do I want to add the item? The index position. And what do I want to add? I want to add pineapple and lemon. Now, take a look at this. You can see that initially I have this as the output, which is the original array that I have. But by the time I apply the splice method adds new element to that array. And you can see I passed in two elements here. And when I now output my fruit, now my fruit now does now contain more than 4 elements. It now contain also pineapple and lemon. And now take a look at what is happening. You can see that these two is indicating where the new element should be added. And that is why you can see it in this position where you are seeing it right now. So this is how you use the splice method add new element. Now let's continue. The splice method can be used to add new items to an array, just as we saw now. The first parameter, which is this two that we have here, defines the position where new elements should be added. That is where you want the new element. Position 2. The second parameter, 0, defines how many elements should be removed. So how many elements do you want to remove? We want nothing to be removed. That is why if we want element to be removed, I will change this to like maybe 2. Let's take a look at what will happen. Now you can also see that 2 element has been removed. So by putting 0, we are indicating that we don't want any element to be removed from what we currently have right here in our original array. Now the rest of the parameters, the lemon and kiwi, lemon and pineapple, define the new element to be added. So the new element I want to add to this array are these two that will pass here, which is the pineapple and the lemon. And the splice method return an array with the deleted item. So when you now check the output, you can see that the deleted items has been returned alongside what you currently have in your array. And because of the positioning thing, the new items are added. But if by virtue of what you want, you decide to change this to true, you will see that some items will be deleted, which will match this that the splice method return an array with the deleted item. So 2 out of the initial 4 items that we have been deleted, and now it returns the result of the deleted item. So this is how the splice method works in JavaScript. Thank you, and in the next lesson I'll see you. Don't forget to go through this lesson again if you are confused, and ensure that you internalize the lesson and understand it better. Thank you for your time.